Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Iraq. A couple things happening. We are all waiting for the budget law to finally be passed. We heard it was passed, but we need the instructions on how to allocate out a budget. This is like the craziest thing I've seen. This is what I talk about all the time when it comes to Iraq. They just can't get their crap together. This law was passed how long ago? It made it through all the proper steps, the committees, parliamentary. It was published and then halted. We're waiting for instructions on how to allocate out the money, which is like the craziest thing ever. So let's get into this and see how long that's going to take, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here I do post updates if I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube, and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Metals, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. Just a reminder that on September 29th through October the 1st, I will be in Vegas for the Silver Symposium. Come on out there and join us. It will be held at Caesar's Palace. I encourage you to come out there. There's going to be a lot of speakers that you are familiar with. So yes, they will be handing out silver. So that's at least a good reason to come by and just visit for a minute or two. There are many speakers. Some of these people you know, some of them you might not know. We know Economic Ninja and we know Andy here. And there's going to be a ton of other speakers as well. This will give you an opportunity to meet these people in person, take a picture with them, shake their hand, ask questions. This would be a good time for you to get any of the questions that you had before answered. So I will leave a link for this down below in the description, and I encourage you guys to come check us out. I definitely will be there. Case is the convergence of Iraq and Egypt, the nucleus of the regional alliance, but it needs the Gulf. So this article is about the Prime Minister Soudani heading on over to Egypt. In the past, they had signed all kinds of letters of understanding and letters of cooperation in which they would do business with one another. It says the Arab Gulf States Institution in Washington stressed that Iraq and Egypt are working to develop diplomacy between them and in the region in order to push for broader regional cooperation with Jordan. But the success of these efforts also requires working closely with the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. See, the American report, which was translated in the news, mentioned the second visit of Iraq's Prime Minister al-Soudani to Cairo in less than 100 days. Said he will be accompanied by 11 ministers and dozens of Iraqi businessmen, pointing out that the Iraq and Egypt signed 11 memorandums of understanding to promote trade, tourism, and investment, adding that the visit was part of a larger effort between Iraq and Egypt and Jordan, focused on regional integration. Said over the years, the report said that Iraq-Egyptian relations has witnessed stages of cooperation, competition, and changing dynamics driven by the aspiration of the leadership, policies, and regional conflicts, and that despite these complications, the two countries have realized the importance of continuing diplomatic engagement to explore ways of cooperation. You jump down just a little bit, it says the report added that in 1989, in the attempt to compete with the Gulf Cooperation Council, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and Yemen established the so-called Arab Cooperation Council. But it did not last long because of Iraq's invasion of Kuwait the following year. Said the report added that when Iran and Iraq war drained Iraq's workforces during the 1980s, Saddam Hussein's regime lifted restrictions on visas on Egyptians and brought in 1.5 million Egyptian workers to keep the Iraqi economy going. It says recently the two countries revived the Joint High Committee during the meeting held in October 2020 in Baghdad, where the two countries signed 15 cooperation agreements in areas including investment, industrial cooperation, trade, maritime transport, infrastructure, and water. The report pointed out that the committee held its next meeting during al-Sudani's visit to Cairo in June and signed 11 agreements, which shows their determination to strengthen economic and political relations. The report pointed out that Iraq is classified as a rentier state with its heavy dependence on oil sale revenues, and therefore faces significant unemployment challenges affecting young people, which is a common issue in oil-rich countries as well, adding that despite the high unemployment rate, some citizens avoid accepting certain job opportunities because of the social stigma associated with the low-status roles. In other words, they can have an opening over at McDonald's, but they're not going to take the job just because they think it's beneath them. Therefore, the report pointed out that the Iraqi private sector resorts to employing more than 1.5 million foreign workers, including about 25,000 Egyptians. So Egypt needs to come over and help Iraq again, is what it sounds like. Take those jobs that the youth of Iraq are not wanting to take. So this article goes on to the history between the two countries and the need to come together once again to talk about ways they could work with one another, including Jordan, as well as helping Iraq out with some high unemployment numbers that need to be addressed. Now this is interesting. Attempt to smuggle huge sums from Baghdad to Kurdistan foiled. A security source revealed on Tuesday that a person who tried to smuggle 260,000 US dollars and 140 million dinars was arrested in the capital, Baghdad. I was wondering how this guy was trying to sneak this out. The source told the news that a security force under the supervision of its commander was able to arrest a person who tried to smuggle an amount of 260,000 US dollars and 140 million Iraqi dinars, whose owners wanted to smuggle it by hiding it in a wheel. Okay, so they were smuggling it in a car. For a second there, I thought this person had this money taped to him. And I was like, that's going to be such a bulky look. So this is one of the things that was concerning for the United States. Money being smuggled out of Iraq and into countries that have sanctions. But in this case, they're heading back over into Kurdistan. And then here we go. Al-Sudani reveals important meeting tomorrow when the budget instructions will be published. So is this it? Are they finally going to start sending the money out? They need to get it going. Prime Minister Al-Sudani in a press conference, the Council of Ministers approved the system of the Iraqi Fund for Development, and we are working to form the board of directors. The government continues to work executive according to the priorities of its program with clarity and confidence. We have anticipated a 3-year budget by preparing the requirements of our plans. We put the third article in the budget, which provides a sovereign guarantee to the private sector. An Iraqi delegation visited Germany and Italy and agreed in principle to import production lines to establish factories, which is a good move. So it looks like Italy and Germany are going to be coming in and opening up factories there in Iraq. This puts more people back to work. Awesome. These factories will be covered by a government sovereign guarantee for the private sector of 85% of the value. We received an offer from the Arab and foreign investment funds to participate in the Iraq Fund for Development. So a lot of countries trying to jump in on this opportunity to help Iraq rebuild. It said they received a request from the private sector to implement projects within Iraq's Fund for Development. During this discussion, the House of Representatives deleted the article related to the implementation of budget instructions. Budget implementation instructions will be published this week. We held meetings for several ministries to prioritize project financing in the budget, which has always been a hassle for Iraq. They have money set aside for certain projects. These people come in and say, hey, we're going to do the work. They get these loans, but nobody ever follows up on it. Nobody ever goes to see if they're actually doing a project. Or a lot of people would start a project and then just let the project die and keep all the money. So this time around, I hope they do a better job at managing the money. It says tomorrow we hold the important session in the presence of political leaders and technicians from the Ministry of Oil and the Ministry of Wealth in the region and legal. The sessions will discuss the draft oil and gas bill, and there are views that need a political decision. The Council of Ministers today approved the system of reconstruction fund for the poor's governance. The Council approved the allocation of 5 billion dinars to the artist pension fund. So I'll leave a link for this article. You can go down. It just tells you the areas in which the budget is going to have money allocated, which I hope they actually do this with no issues of corruption, and that the money is being monitored to make sure that these people who start these projects actually do what they say they're going to do. There's a lot of stuff dealing with their electricity problems, dealing with desalination of water. There's all kinds of things in here that I think are awesome for Iraq. It's definitely going to take 3 years for a lot of these projects to be completed. When I saw this picture, I couldn't help it. I wanted to share it with you guys. Iraq's electrical grid hit by a fire, explosion amid scorching heat. Yeah, I bet, but look how their wires are. This looks like a damn spider web. Look at this guy up there and the wires. Yeah, somebody definitely needs to come by and fix this hot mess. That is terrible looking. Said a fire in a power station in southern Iraq and several explosions have affected the country's ailing national electricity grid as temperatures rise. A statement by the Iraq's Ministry of Electricity on Saturday said a fire broke out shortly after noon at a station in the southern city of Basra. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's up there trying to get connected so they get AC is what it is. This led to a separation of transmission lines linking southern and central regions, and resulted in a total shutdown of the electrical system in the area. So yeah, they definitely need to get in there and fix their electricity issue. Like I was saying earlier, that article does a really good job of breaking down how the areas in which the budget is going to be financing. If you look at it real closely, you can see they are hitting all the real important areas. This is going to help Iraq not rely on oil so much. That's the goal. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.